Hi Flosstube, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. The time is approximately 11:37 p.m. on Thursday, August 16th, 2018. I'm sorry that I've been away for a little bit. I've been kind of busy doing some things and trying to get my first diamond painting completed and doing some other things. I'm still also stitching in the 100 Days of Heaven and Earth Design Challenge. I've only been stitching about 20 or 30 stitches a day, but I'm still in the challenge and we're quickly approaching the 50-day mark. So we're about halfway through with the Heaven and Earth Design Challenge. Not a whole lot's been going on. I've been kind of busy. Work's been just kind of And yeah, we're just trying to plug along. And I have a lot of updates for you, sort of. So I'm just kind of hoping this video will go pretty quick. I have some notes I don't know how much of my notes that I actually did last time. I think I went through a lot of them. As you know, I have indicated before that I am going to the stitching retreat that my local needle workshop, Cross My Heart, here in Columbus, is hosting in November. It's called Camp Gotta Stitch, and it's happening November 9th through 12th. I am happy to report, I don't remember if I said this earlier, but I'm happy to report that I have completely paid for the weekend. So I will be going down Friday morning after I drop my husband off at work, and I will be staying until Monday morning. That happens to be Veterans Day weekend, so I have Monday off, and I'll be able to stay and stitch on Sunday night. So I'm actually looking forward to that. According to Cross My Heart, when I registered for the stitching retreat, they indicated that there's about at least 20 people staying Sunday night, so that should be kind of fun. It's up in Berlin, Ohio, which is Amish country, and it's at the Berlin Grand Hotel in Berlin, Ohio. I will put a link to the information for Camp Gotta Stitch below, so if you're interested, you can see if there's any openings and sign up. And speaking of stitch retreats, many of you out there know that in June of every year, Keepsakes down in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is a stitching shop down there, Pam and Stephanie of Just Keep Stitching fame go to that needle workshop. And actually Stephanie, the daughter, she actually works at Keepsakes, and she helps kind of organize and plan the Stitch Con convention that happens down in that area every year. And it's hosted by Keepsakes. It's really big. A lot of Flosstubers attend the convention. And this last year, the convention sold out pretty quick, and all the spots were taken. And as you know, they send out invoices every year. Well, this last time they announced that they would, not only would they be inviting all of the people that went to StitchCon 2018 to StitchCon 2019, all of those people would get a spot if they think they can come. And then they were going to open it up to, like, say 100 extra more people that signed up on the StitchCon 2019 waitlist. They were going to have some spots opening because they're going to be able to allow more people to attend this next year. Well, about 3 or 4 weeks after the 2018 StitchCon was over, Pam and Steph had indicated on their video blog on YouTube, their Flosstube here, that the StitchCon 2019 waitlist was already full. And they encouraged people to still get on the waitlist, but chances at that point of people actually getting invoiced to potentially go to StitchCon 2019 might be kind of slim, because they already had such an overwhelming response to people wanting to come to StitchCon. Well, so anyway, I just went ahead and put my name on the wait list. I figured, if nothing else, I'll get an invitation to StitchCon 2020. So I was like, well, okay, at least I'll get on the wait list, right? Well, as it turns out, much to my surprise, I actually did get an invoice for StitchCon. I got it, I think, late last Monday night. So I've had it, my 2 weeks is coming up. They give you 2 weeks to pay. And if you can't pay your invoice, then they just kind of add the next person in and give them a chance to pay. Well, last weekend I was kind of talking it over with my husband after getting my invoice and being quite surprised about it. I thought I might be going, but I was going to wait a few days to pay. Well, throughout the course of this week, I kind of did a little soul searching, and as much as I'd really, really, really love to go for 2019, I really wasn't expecting to get invoiced, to be frank with you, and I was more expecting to be available to go in 2020. So, at this point in time, I'm going to have to say that I'm kind of bowing out of my opportunity to go to StitchCon in 2019. I'd really love to go, but I mean, I really wasn't expecting to be given the chance, actually. And in light of everything kind of going on personal-wise, and, the potential of, my work situation changing before the end of the year, there's still rumors that they're going to make more cuts. So, and the writing's kind of on the wall for that. So I'm possibly expecting to lose my job by the end of the year. I just kind of told my husband yesterday, actually, that I was going to save our money and just not pay my invoice to go. I'd really like to go, and I really think it would be fun as heck. There's quite a few Flosstubers that I'd like to meet there, and I'd like to be one of the Flosstubers that go. But with me going to the stitching retreat, Camp Gotta Stitch, this November, StitchCon just isn't really in the budget. Plus, every year in June here in Columbus, we have a board game convention called Origins Game Fair, and my husband and I go to that every year. We save up all our spare change, and we use that for spending money. This year we went with close to like $1,000 spending money. And that's amazing. We've been going to laundromats to do our laundry. So like every week or so we put about $20 worth of quarters in the jar. Plus, whatever other cash and everything my husband puts in our little kitty jar, our rainy day fund. And so whatever we've saved up, we use at the convention for spending money. So there's just a lot going on. My mom in California is hopefully going to be spending a week or two out here with us before the end of the year. And Dylan and I are also due next year to go out to California for about a week or so. So I think we're just going to try and save up some money and do that instead. As much as I'd really love to go to StitchCon, you guys, StitchCon, from what I heard, is amazingly fun. I'm just going to save my money. But I am going to Camp Gotta Stitch, and I will put that information down below for you. I will also give you the StitchCon website, so if you're interested, you could check them out, get on the wait list. I'm not sure how many people they're accepting for StitchCon for next year. Sorry about the yawning, you guys. It's been kind of a long day. But anyway, so yeah. That's pretty much about everything I know. I did get invoiced for StitchCon. I'm not really going to go. I don't have the money, and in light of everything else going on this year with the loss of both my in-laws and family stuff and potential loss of a job, I'm not really upset about the potential of my losing my job. Been with the company 20 years, so if I get laid off, chances are really good that I'm going to get a year's pay for severance, which will help us pay everything off. I'm going to take probably a good 6 months off, mental break, and just kind of do a lot of nothing. 20 years is a long time to give to a company, and so if I'm laid off, it'll be a good thing. So I'm not really necessarily worried about it, because we can use the severance pay to pay off a lot of what we owe. Sorry, guys. And then, that way we'll be able to live on my husband's salary. We can live sort of comfortably. I might have to actually do stitch from stash, which wouldn't necessarily be too bad. We'd have to cut some, curb some spending, but There's a lot of things that we can do, and it would just give me a chance to take a mental break and everything like that, and then either look for something else, or if I do decide to go back to the company I work for, I'd have to wait a year. Otherwise, I'd have to wait a calendar year. Otherwise, I'd have to repay the severance that is outstanding after that. So I'm probably looking at least not working for a good 4 to 6 months. It may be longer than that. I'd probably end up, my tentative plan A, if that happens, is to go look for, go to a couple of temp agencies and get on that way. I have a lot of office skills I could use, and I got hired on where I'm at now, 20 some years ago. Being a temp, I was a temp for 3 months before they hired me on. So, it's a great way to look for a job, assuming that a lot of places are still using temporaries. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, you guys. But anyway, so that's what I got going on. So let's see. I got some new stuff. I watched some new people on Flosstube, and I've been diamond painting some. Let's see. I'm stitching the 100 Days of HAED. I have some new stuff to show you. So, one of the new things I got fairly recently, so I showed you the Sing a Sampler by Erica Michaels, or Silver Creek Samplers, not Erica Michaels. Silver Creek Samplers. This is the Do Re Mi 1, 2, and 4. I got parts 1, 2, and 4 before. My part 3 came in, so I now have parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is Sol and La. So we have Do Re, Mi Fa, Sol La, Ti Do. So this set is complete. I'm hopefully going to be getting some fabric for it. I'm probably going to be doing it calls for Gast, General Arts threads, and Weeks Dye Works threads. I have some Weeks Dye Works that I'm kind of getting for another project that I'll show you here next. But hopefully I'll have some of this on hand for when I decide to get started. So yeah, I got that. So Cross My Heart had the Scary Berry Silk Berry collection from Erica Michaels. I got Silk Berry, Scary Berry. This is really cute. It's a kit. Okay, it's not really a kit. It was the pattern and the silk gauze. This is stitched on 40 count silk gauze. I bought some of the Weeks Dye Works to go with it. So I'm going to stitch this on the requested Weeks Dye Works. But yeah, Scary Berry. Now the silk gauze, the pattern is actually shaped, so you can shape it into the berry, and the stitching isn't on the entire piece of gauze. But I'll take this out so the glare isn't so bad. What I'm going to do with this though is I'm going to stitch it square on the piece. I'm not going to stitch it in the berry shape that the pattern comes in. Where's the gauze? I'm just going to stitch it flat so it'll be more of a seam. But yeah, so there's that. These are the Weeks Dye Works threads that it calls for. I'm going to be doing that on silk gauze, so eventually I'll start that. The colors that I have for the Weeks Dye Works so far, my local needle workshop, they just shorten their Weeks Dye Works up to hang it on their wall for display and purchase. But so like these are the called for Weeks Dye Works, most of the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. There's a couple colors I still need to get for it. This is the background color. This is Battleship. You need like at least 3 skeins of this. You need 10 yards. They only had the one. So, but yeah, so here's, you know, the Weeks Dye Works colors. I don't have a lot of Weeks Dye Works in my stash. So, yeah, I have more Gentle Arts threads in my stash than I do Weeks Dye Works. So, doing this is, you know, I have to go out and get the flosses for it, but anyway, I got most of this. I don't know when I plan on starting this. It might be one of the Dark 13 stitch along things from Bewitched Stitches. But yeah, I have the Scary Berry. This is the Silk Berry collection. I'm planning on getting the Linen Berry one too. It's cute, but that'll come later. Another new thing of mine, I really like Norah Corbett Patterns, and she has a new series out that are buildings, and they're actually not that large. Her newest one is called the Coffee House. It's got a horse and a sleigh out front. The horse looks a little odd, but this is stitched on 32 count Star Sapphire linen, and I happened to get a piece of the Star Sapphire linen from Cross My Heart. So this is the color. It's kind of a mint green, pistachio or mint green. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I don't know if the color is going to be washed out or not, but I got the Star Sapphire fabric for it. This one calls for lots of DMC. It has Karen Water Lilies number 206, Krynic, there's 4 Krynics in it, and several Millhill beads and treasures. So eventually I'm going to have to get the stuff for it. I don't know if I'll start it this year when I plan on starting it, but yeah, I have the Coffee House by Mirabilia. I don't know if I'm going to get the other house or not. The other one that's out, my friend got it because she really liked the colors, and I just don't know that I like the other house nearly as much as I like this one. This one's really cute though. I kind of liked this one with the Christmas tree and stuff in the window. But yeah, so there's that. Norah Corbett's Coffee House with the Star Sapphire linen to go with it. If I buy a Norah Corbett pattern and I buy the fabric, I normally just tuck the fabric inside the pattern folder, so I know I've got it, and it keeps it together. Okay. So one of the next patterns that I got, there's a stitch along going on called the Haunted Mansion stitch along by the pattern is by Tiny Modernist. It's a 7-part mystery series, and so far the main part of the house, the outside part of the house, and room number 1, Dracula's room, is out. The next one comes out, the next part comes out very, very soon. But it's a pattern by Tiny Modernist. Many of you out there in Flosstube land have probably heard of this or seen this. But this is the house. It's very cute. As you can see, a lot of these other rooms here haven't been released yet. This is Dracula's room here. This is the one that's been released. So you have the house and the grounds around it, and then Dracula. So I'm getting these every month until it's complete. I haven't started it. I haven't gotten fabric for it. I'm not participating in the stitch along because I'm mainly focusing on the 100 Days of Heaven and Earth Design Challenge. So I'm not really stitching on this right now. Not really stitching on much of anything else right now, actually. But there is this. So I have the Tiny Modernist Haunted Mansion stitch along pattern that I'm getting, and so far I've got the house and Dracula's room. I think I get some free patterns. DMC USA or DMC has a lot of free patterns on their websites. A lot of their foreign websites, you could actually get quite a few patterns. One of the more popular one is this falling leaves pattern. This is a DMC free pattern you can get. There's quite a few people stitching this. I forget who it was that's doing this on 40 count gauze, but they're doing this on 40 count gauze, and they've changed the colors to like oranges and reds for fall. This might actually be a really interesting diamond painting too. You know, fill in the background, make it fall. You can make it fall, you can make it winter, you can make it spring, you can make it summer, you know. Might be an interesting diamond painting thing. But yeah, this is Falling Leaves by DMC. You know, you can just get a bunch of free patterns online. I'm not going to show you too many of these because they're mainly just the pattern. I realize you can get them free online, but yeah, there's like, I printed off a bunch of ice creams and stuff like that. You may hear Rosie over there behind the camera snoring. She took a bit of a long walk with me tonight, so thought this was cute. This is another free DMC pattern. This is free, but it says, "I love stitching." I thought that was really cute. You can see the patterns below it. But yeah, I love stitching. DMC. It's a DMC pattern. And it's free online. So yeah, you can get it there. I will put the link to, well, yeah, I will put the link to the DMC patterns below as well. Alright, so I have Camp Gotta Stitch and Stitch Con. I will actually see if I can put the link to the Tiny Modernist pattern down below for you, just in case you don't have it. Let's see what's in here. Yeah. Okay, so these are Heaven and Earth Design. Oh yeah. So Heaven and Earth Design, there was some new pattern releases on Heaven and Earth Design. I don't know if I showed these, but I'm going to go ahead and show them again. I found two pieces by Dennis Lewan, Lewan, that I really liked. So I went ahead and ordered them and printed them from Heaven and Earth Designs. I get the PDF downloads, so, and I make a printed copy for myself to use. This first one is called Winter's Joy. I thought that was really pretty. And in kind of keeping with the fact that I don't have very many fall patterns, and I'm kind of really getting into like seasonal type things, the next one I got is called You Go First, and it's also by Dennis Lewan. I hope I'm saying that right. You Go First. Kids trick-or-treating. I just thought this was really cool, and I like the ghosts up in the air above the house, and the bats. It's just really cool. So I have two new Heaven and Earth Design patterns. I'm trying to do this a little faster tonight. And I don't remember if I showed this before, but I printed this off at work in color. I probably did show these before. These are two frosted pumpkin patterns that I purchased earlier. Many of you know the Pumpkin Passport. This is a really popular one. I think they did it as a stitch along last year maybe, or fairly recently. But this is called the Pumpkin Passport. You'll recognize this when you see it. Let's go on an adventure. There we go. And then the next one is called Around the World Japan. This one's really cute. Konnichiwa. Around the World Japan. This is by the Frosted Pumpkin. So these are some pieces that are going, some patterns that are going into my stash for possible stitching later. I think that's pretty much about it for this today. I don't have any new updates, except I can show you where my Heaven and Earth Design Challenge piece is at. So I'm working on Hunter's Moon by Allison Spokes. And this is my progress to date so far. When I started the challenge, I was working over here under the bird. I had this area under the bird and a lot of the moon over here. I hadn't done any of this tree. So I finished page 3. I'm about probably coming close to being half done on page 4, which is the tree over here. So that's where I'm at on Hunter's Moon. This is my 100 Days of Heaven and Earth Design Challenge piece. I think today is day 46. Speaking of which, I still have to take a picture and post it. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. Here's the pattern. Hunter's Moon by Allison Spokes. Alright. So that's about all I have. Don't really have much of anything else. Let's see. Not a whole lot. Oh, well, this weekend, speaking of conventions, this weekend is Heaven and Earth Designs Con. HAED Con. I think it's out in Oregon. I think that's where they have it. But yeah, this weekend they're having HAED Con. So all those people traveling to HAED Con, I hope you guys have fun. That's another convention that would be kind of fun to go to, but again, money. You know, it's all about the money. There is a couple of things that you know, I kind of came up with ideas for, and I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about them here. Oh yeah, one of the new things that I kind of wanted to mention too, Kitten Stitcher Teresa. She, you know, she does a lot of antique samplers, and she started her new e-zine. Her new e-zine has been published. Her first issue has been published, and it's on the website. The e-zine is $12 a month, or $12 a publication. And I'll put a link in the description for you. I don't have a lot of, oh goodness, I don't have a lot of antique samplers. I'm not necessarily an antique sampler stitcher. Not to say that I'm not interested in them, it's just I have so many other things to stitch, you know. Yeah, it's just another thing that I probably don't really need to get into. But where my in-laws live in Williamstown, West Virginia, across the river in Marietta, Ohio, there's this museum called the Campus Martius Museum. And in the museum, they have a couple of antique samplers that are stitched, that are on display. And I'm going to have to go, oh goodness, sorry about that. I'm going to have to go take a look at the samplers and see if I can get a good look at them and see kind of what they're made of, you know, when they were stitched, and possibly see about maybe figuring out how to get them charted, because that might be kind of interesting. I don't even know if, you know, if that's like a copyright thing or a trademark thing or whatever. I don't know. But that might be kind of fun to do. Get those antique samplers reproduced somehow. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm sorry about that. It's kind of late. It's getting close to my bedtime. So a couple of things that I kind of thought of in passing over the last week or two when I was sitting at work and, you know, listening to Flosstube and diamond painting and stuff like that. So get down, Harvey, Jesus. Oh no. Thank you, dumbass cat. Sorry about that. She decided that she was going to sit on this. No. Anyway, sorry about that. So I have this Scary Berry. This isn't the first time that I would be stitching on 40 count silk gauze. There's some interesting things, like, you know, I could do a discussion on it, like, you know, the lady at Cross My Heart, Emily, who, Emily E.J. EJV Designs, Emily J. Van Designs. She stitches a lot on 40 count, and she kind of told me one of the best ways to stitch it, especially this piece, is to get a piece of muslin and baste the 40 count gauze onto the muslin, cut out the hole so you can stitch on it, and use the muslin to put it in a hoop. So you can stitch and keep your tension. So I'm going to have to do a little search on a couple of tutorials for the best way to do that. I kind of have an idea of how I'm going to do it. I just need to get the fabric to do it with, or find something that I can use in what I have. But yeah, so I'm gonna be using some tips on this. I know a couple of the questions that I kind of had too, like where do you find silk gauze? I mean, can you buy it by the yard? You know, can you do that? Is there a good source for it online? I know I can order it from my local needle workshop, but oh goodness, they say that you know, it can run $50, $60, $70 a yard, something like that. They were also saying too, you know, use a needle smaller than a 28. Where the heck do you get embroidery needles smaller than 28s? I use John James 28 Petites because I really like them. I like the shortness of them, you know. I don't know. Where do you even find needles smaller than 28 Petites? I don't know if anybody knows, just let me know. A couple of the stitchers, a couple of floss tubers out there are also using ballpoint needles. They say they work really well. They don't pierce your thread. They don't really separate the threads in your fabric. Oh, sorry you guys, I have to apologize. It is getting a little bit late and I'm trying to get this done. But yeah, they say they use it. Oh, I use the pin stitch method, and part of the pin stitch method is using the needle to pierce the floss as a way to anchor the threads, so you don't need to bury your threads on the back. And I'm just still kind of wondering how the ballpoint needles work with pin stitch, and if they're even really that good for it. I'd like to try the ballpoint needles. I haven't seen any yet. I haven't really ordered any. But if anybody has any tips on whether or not it works using pin stitch, I know I've asked this before, but that would be great if you could tell me. And one of the other things that I came across too, I do have another kind of minor whip update. Last Wednesday, my friend Vicky and I went to the Nightlight Stitch Night at Cross My Heart after work. It's the Wednesday night stitch night at my local needle workshop, and Carol, one of the shop owners, she has designed a monthly Seahorse set. And I did get a little progress on this when I was there Wednesday. This up here, you can kind of sort of see, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you can kind of sort of, this is the February one, which is in the middle of the top of the fabric. I got a little more progress done. You might be able to see the stitches kind of up at the top. The little swirly right there where my finger is. There's a little swirly. There you go. I did a little bit more on this, not a whole lot. But this one is Fred and Ginger. This one is February's Fred and Ginger. This one. I am working on Fred, this dark red one here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, a lot of people that stitch on linen know that linen fabric is known for slubs. And these are areas where the threads in the fabric can suddenly get rather wide because of the way the threads are spun on and or woven. On this piece for the Seahorses, this is the called for fabric that was specially dyed for Carol by, picture this plus? No, Cross Wing Collection. This is called Maul Lake, M-A-U-L, Maul Lake Cross Wing Collection. It's hand painted fabric. It's hand dyed. But this linen, there's quite a few slubs in this fabric, and I'm not going to be able to show you where they are. But there's, there might be, this is a pretty good discussion to have too. Sometimes on pieces that are just like maybe on cream linen or white linen or solid color linen, if there's a lot of slubs in the stitching area, sometimes I'll pull the slubs. I'll take tweezers or my needle, kind of pick them up just a little bit and then pull them out until it thins the fibers down. Yes, I do pull my slubs on my linen. I don't know that I'm going to pull the slubs on this linen, and I don't know if you can see any. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see any of the slubs on this. But I'm not going to pull any of the slubs on my linen for this because of the specialty dye. That's just a fold in the fabric right there. It's just a fold in the fabric that you're seeing. But yeah, I'm not going to do the slubs on the linen here, but normally I would, like solid color, white linen, cream linen, whatever. I would pull the slubs because I don't really like the way the unevenness of the stitches slubs give your finished piece. So I'm the type of person that pulls the slubs. What about you? Do you guys pull the slubs? Have you ever done that? Have you ever pulled a hole in your fabric? I did find a couple of videos online who had discussed how to fix holes if you pull your slub and you actually pull a hole in your fabric, how to repair the fabric. So that's kind of interesting. There's also a couple of websites you can go to. Needleandthread.com. Needleandthread.com. Also has a tutorial on how to fix holes in your linen fabric, as does Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher. She actually said that when she entered a piece for I believe it was her state fair, she got knocked down 2 ribbon levels because her stitches were uneven because she wasn't pulling the slubs out of her linen when she was stitching. So she had some parts in her piece where some of the stitches were quite uneven and quite distorted because the slubs made the fabric thicker in that area. So she said that a long time ago she wasn't pulling the slubs out of her fabric, but now she's actually kind of doing it sometimes. I don't know that she's doing it all the time, but she said that she would start to do it because of the fact that she got knocked down 2 ribbon places because of the slubs in her fabric. Even though the person judging the needlework didn't necessarily know that's why her stitches were uneven. Had they realized that she was stitching on linen, or had they known their needlework a little better, maybe she wouldn't have gotten dinged for that. But so anyway, a couple of interesting discussions. Leave comments, leave your notions about stitching on silk gauze and whether or not you pull your slubs in your linen if you stitch with linen. I also stitch with even weave fabric. Even weave tends not to have the slub issue, but I do tend to pull my slubs on my linen. I don't pull them initially. I'll start stitching and then I'll get kind of bored with my stitching and just get into like watching TV, what I'm listening to, like if I'm watching a movie or something on TV, and then I'll kind of look down and I was like, oh, there's a slub, and I'll pull a slub when I see it. but I don't always just, you know, take my fabric and pull all the slubs before I start. But yeah, I just kind of pull it. It's like, you know, when you play with your hair, it's kind of a nervous habit. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot today. This is going to be fairly short. It's only going to be about 40 minutes. I'm not going to do much editing in this tonight. I just kind of want to get this uploaded because it's been a little while since I've had a stitching video. My husband and I are going away. We're going to the in-laws this weekend. I'm probably not going to do a Stitch With Me video because I did one last time we were there. Yeah, I'm just probably not going to do that this weekend, mainly because I think I just want some downtime and some, you know, time to just get some things done. So anyway, that's about all I got for you this week. Not a whole lot of updates. Got some new haul. Got some orders on the way. The Stony Creek Halloween patterns that are coming monthly. I just ordered the August one. If you think about it and you want those patterns, each of the patterns are $3.95 plus $3.50 shipping. The current month is August. August's pattern is free, but you pay the $3.50 shipping. So you can still get all the other ones. May, June, and July. But August is free. And I think it goes September, October, and November maybe, or maybe it's just September and October. I think there's only 2 more after this one. But anyway, so that should be coming soon. Other than that, I don't really have much of anything for you. I've got to get a couple of things packed up tonight before I go. I'll turn this off. I got to get a couple of things packed up before I go. Before I go to bed, and it's going to be just kind of a sort of week. So anyway, that's about all I have for now. A little tired. It's been kind of a long couple of weeks, and I think I'm just ready for some downtime this weekend. So we will talk at you soon. I hope everything's going well. I hope you're stitching all the things, you're buying all the things, you're storing all the floss, you're doing all the diamond painting, you're doing everything like that. Again, leave your comments below. I really want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed recently to my channel. I hope you find something here that you can use, some inspiration, or even some charts that you didn't know were out there. One of the other things you can see, I've been reorganizing the shelves behind me. They're looking a little neater and a little cleaner. I still have to do the top 2 shelves, and the shelf behind the clipboard that's right here. This other shelf right here I still have to do, but yeah, it's coming along and I'm reorganizing. It's going pretty good. So anyway, it's given me a chance to clean and go through books and sort out some stuff. So anyway, that's about all I got for now. But stitch all the things, buy all the stash, you know, hoard all the stash. Pass stitchy kindness if you can, and just have a good week, you guys. I don't know when my next video will be. I don't know if it's going to be a diamond painting video or if it's going to be a stitching video, but anyway, and I don't know, you know, these are kind of coming a little bit more staggered than I was hoping they would be. I was hoping to do this either every week or every other week, but yeah. And I just really haven't been feeling up to it. So anyway, I probably won't see you for a little bit, but you know, you can follow me on Facebook. You can look me up on any of the stitching Facebook groups: Stitch Mania, Bewitched Stitches, 100 Days of HAED, Stitch Talk. Anyway, leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really hope you find something here that you can use. I hope you find inspiration for your pieces, and I hope you find something that you didn't know was out there. Leave me comments about stitching on silk gauze, ballpoint needles, and you're pulling your slubs on the linen fabric. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your input on that. Maybe we can start a discussion and everything like that. So anyway, that's all I have for tonight. Take care and get some good sleep. I need to get some rest, so I'm going to cut it here. And just keep on keeping on, everybody. And take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.